Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a very special edition of this podcast is for nerds. This edition is very special because I agreed to do the intro, and in reality, I'm going to throw Calvin on the spot and make him do the intro.
I like your style. Hello, everyone. Welcome to This Podcast is for Nerds. This is the never-ending reliable discussion podcast with Zach and Calvin. So this week, we're going to be discussing our favorite platformers and sandbox games. And I think this is kind of Zach's topic, and I think it was inspired by our media club, which will be coming out next week on the Gardens Between. There is a bit of news. I don't know if you've heard, Zach, the Halo news.
No, I have not. You teased this earlier in the conversation, and I want to know what you're talking about.
Okay, so when this episode comes out, which will be Thursday, the 13th, this will be 2 days old, but this just got announced early this afternoon from Halo Infinite. Chris Lee, the studio head for 343. Today, I want to share an important Halo Infinite development update with the community. We have made the difficult decision to shift our release to 2021 to ensure the team has adequate time to deliver a Halo game experience that meets our vision. The decision to shift our release is the result of multiple factors that have contributed to development challenges, including the ongoing COVID-related impacts affecting us all this year. I want to acknowledge the hard work from our team at 343 Industries, who have remained committed to making a great game and finding solutions to development challenges. However, it is not sustainable for the well-being of our team or the overall success of the game to ship it this holiday. We know this will be disappointing to many of you, and we all share that sentiment. The passion and support the community has shown over the years has been incredible and inspiring. We want nothing more than to play our game with the community this holiday. The extra time will let us finish the critical work necessary to deliver the most ambitious Halo game ever at the quality we know our fans expect. Thank you for your support and understanding. So I just wanted to get your take on that. I read that this afternoon.
Okay. My take on it is that's great, honestly. From a fan perspective, oh my God, it sucks. I have to wait a little longer for a new Halo game. But from a company in an industry that's known and has had a lot of issues taking care of its staff and its quality of life, I think that's awesome. So my hats are off to 343 for making that decision. And you know what? Taking care of your people, because that's something that came to light that I've loved video games most of my life. I had no idea how rigorous and intense and brutal the development cycle is for the people who work on making the games. So, once all that came to light, I got so much more sympathy for people who decided to say, hey, you know what? My team's killing themselves. I need to stop this, and we need to do this in a smart, sustainable fashion. So I'm all for it.
Yeah, I fully agree. It certainly sucks. I would love to play Halo. But honestly, this gives me more time to replay all of the Halo games in preparation for this.
Series X.
What's that?
Afford the Series X, honestly.
Yeah, that as well. And that's a discussion I've been having in some of my groups, was I didn't really have the money for it anyways, so now it gives me more time to save. I think this would be an interesting discussion if it was a PlayStation exclusive, like Miles Morales getting pushed. Because it seems like PlayStation has a divide this generation. So their main thing is they want to push this new console, these new games. But with Xbox, it seems like they're not as interested in pushing console sales as they are getting Game Pass subscriptions. But I think they're definitely going to see a huge hit to pre-orders with this news, because it was supposed to be a console release.
It's one of those things where, in the long run, it may suck up front, but if the game is just such a badass game, that's what they're trying to do and push. Okay, so you lost out on the holiday sales season. but you're also launching a hot title that everyone knows worldwide. The time when most games have pretty much shot their wad in the holiday season also. So you don't have to fight with everyone at the same time. And you're really not going to lose that many hardcore dedicated Halo gamers, you know?
Oh, no. I think anyone that planned on playing this game is going to, regardless of the release date. So, I'm all for cutting back on crunch if that's what this leads to. I hope it does. Based on their messaging, it is. But, yeah.
That's true. Based on the messaging. I hope it really does translate to that being, you know, I'm not even going to second guess that. Because if it's not the case, we'll know about it. You know, the industry, developers have not been quiet, but they've been mistreated recently. So I think if they were lying about it, we would definitely find out pretty quickly. So, be ready, 343. We believe you.
Yeah, have those servers ready. And honestly, this probably means that because there was originally the game was going to launch without multiplayer. So my guess is now it will launch with that multiplayer, which is great in my opinion.
That's true. It could be a thing where they're like, hey, people are going to want multiplayer. We can't push fast enough. Let's extend our timeline and get multiplayer done right. That's going to be, some people want the story, some people want multiplayer, but everyone wants multiplayer. I know that sounded ridiculous, but it's true.
Yeah, so that was a little bit of breaking news, I guess, that I thought we should discuss, since Halo has been the topic of many of our discussions here on this podcast. It's a series we both clearly care about a lot. And if you didn't know, we have a YouTube channel, and we're currently playing through the game on Legendary and taking shots every time we both die. So the first episode's live over on our YouTube channel. The link will be in the show notes. And I'm I'm currently editing the second episode, and oh my god, it's a doozy. We die so many times.
You know what's funny too? Like whenever I play other games with people, like with my coworkers, and they're like, "Hey, we're playing Fortnite," they hate me because I don't want to build. I think that's just a waste of my time, and I'll build if I'm getting shot at. But other than that, I'm just playing like it's Halo. And then when I go back and play Halo on Legendary, or at least Halo 2, when you don't get your health regen, I just forgot. I was like, wow, I think for an hour we went around trying to just like kill everything, and we didn't have to. We hit one objective and get the hell out of there. Oh, it's good stuff. So go check it out on YouTube. It's actually great. Calvin did a great job editing between both of our gameplays. And I don't give Calvin enough beer. I really do need to, because all of the YouTube magic is all Calvin. All of I do the art, but Calvin sets it up in a way that's palatable and delicious for all the consumers out there. So everyone, when you see Calvin, give him a top far distance high five, give him a far distance hug, pat him on the ass, do what you got to do. Just go.
We'll skip the pat on the ass, but I appreciate the kind words. I feel the same about your art. It's awesome. And I've got something a little different for episode 2. I'm getting to use some of your other art you've done for us. And so yeah, I'm excited to have that included in the name burn as some of our faces that you've drawn. So that'll be cool. And speaking of art, Zach did a great drawing of us in Kill Bill style. And that is up on our Instagram right now and Twitter. So if you don't follow us on those, it's This Pod is 4 Nerds on Instagram, and This Pod is the number 4 Nerds on Twitter. And I actually just ordered stickers, and those will be in about a week, I think. So if you're interested in receiving some free This Pod is for Nerds merch, hit us up on any of our socials, and we'll send them your way.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. And yeah, I actually pulled up a little bit of Gogol 13 while I was messing with these a little bit to give us a little more grit, a little more edge.
It looks fantastic. I should hold on one second. As we're talking about it, I'll pull it up and then we can look at it because I think it's fantastic.
I definitely have enjoyed being able to draw more. I mean, even since our inception here, and this our opening flaming sword pictures we have, and Calvin. Oh, there we go. Okay. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it looks fantastic. I love the yellow glasses on you. It just looks fantastic, and I love the typeface for this podcast is for nerds. Did you do that by hand, or is that like a font that you pulled?
And actually.
Oh, it looks awesome.
It took me a minute. I wrote that out and erased it like 14 times.
It looks great. And the detail on the handle for the sword is fantastic. All the wrapping. It looks great.
Thank you. I did bail on drawing the razor ball. That was actually quite difficult to do.
I don't doubt that.
And also, just a quick thing I'll throw in now, too. Thank you for those who responded to the polls I've been posting all week, just to get a feel for how people like to enjoy their video games and movies and their media. I'm going to continue doing that quite often, just to get a better feel for the audience, and also just to get feedback on what you want to hear, see, and have us do. One of the interesting ones is I put a post to see what do you enjoy, Calvin, when you go to the movies? Popcorn or candy? What do you go for?
I'm a salty guy, so I like popcorn. What was our audience?
They were 50-50 split, actually.
Oh, really? Wow.
More than 4 people who voted, so it wasn't just like, a 1-on-1 tie. It was 50-50 across the board for that one.
Dang.
We definitely have more listeners who prefer coffee over tea, and
that adds.
For beer over wine. Overall, the popcorn one is really what threw me off. I was like, wow, I mean, I get it. I'm a guy who tends to go for both because I like my Junior Mints and I like my popcorn. But, 50-50 split. So I'm going to keep doing polls. It's fun.
Yeah, that's really cool. I love that. And we've kind of had an explosion of viewership. I don't know what's happening, but we're getting like 5 times the daily listening that we normally have. So that's super cool. So if you enjoy what you're listening to, please let a friend know.
Yeah, let a friend know. Talk to us about what you want to hear and see. We're working on some fun stuff in the future. I think we have to actually get a little more organized because I think we've recorded more than I thought we did for like when we go on vacations and stuff like that. So yeah, it's gonna be some fun stuff in the future. But for right now, we're going to get right into our favorite platforms and sandboxes because never-ending reliable discussion is what we do.
Yes. So let me go ahead. So we're going to start with your platformer that you like, Zach. So go ahead and introduce us to your world.
So Lode Runner was actually a game I played on before I even found Mario. This was on my family's computer growing up, and it was one of those games that was pretty wild because it just threw me off. Like these guys, when they got you, it wasn't like Mario where he jumps and falls down. Like these guys would kill you. And they were not happy to see you. They didn't care about you. And if you dug yourself in a hole wrong, this would happen. And they
okay. Yeah.
So I spent hours, I think, playing this game. And this is before, you had internet that could support multiple people or like a phone call and people at the same time. And so I would just spend hours doing this. It was a lot of fun. And there were certain aspects too, like before when you would dig a hole, you wouldn't always fall through. You could actually get stuck because you dug a hole and fell in, and they would just come to you and just jump on you and beat the hell out of you. So that was terrifying to get also. I played this version. I also played the, I think it's the broader bun Lode Runner. It's Famicom, but there's another one too where it's a little more like Indiana Jones of Lode Runner. And that one is kind of crazy because you're running away from these temple priests, and when they jump down and get you, it shows them beating you, and then you die. This game is terrifying.
It reminds me a lot of. Did you play Dig Dug at all?
I did not.
Okay. The like digging into the ground and kind of like trapping enemies reminds me a lot of it. But I love the little characters. So I guess it's like the original Mario game with Donkey Kong. I'm guessing there's just a bunch of these levels that are all kind of laid out differently, and you collect is the sand the collectible that you have to get before you move on.
Yeah, the sand in this version it's sand, and the other version it's like gold. And you are like, I'm actually thinking about it now as an adult. I think you're robbing temples, so that's not great. But
yeah, that's problematic.
And in different versions too, there's like vines and bombs and everything like that that'll appear. So like, if you drop a bomb, then you're safe and you keep people out. But if you jump in, like if the characters will move over to the left and jump in, also they can climb out, but you can't climb out. So you need to make sure you have enough space to like walk over them and get away. And I just thought it was a really fun game. And Mario's an easy pick for a platformer. And I thought about this game and how I just, it's been years since I played it. And I actually might go back and try it again because it's been years. And honestly, it looks simple. And it is for the most part, especially for the time period. I think this came out in 1983 originally. But those AI are ruthless. If you get split between two, you can't dig fast enough, or one climbs out before you can get past the other one, you're done for it.
Well, yeah, I mean the fact that the enemies respawn is kind of nightmare fuel. And I guess kind of gets back at like how difficult games used to be. And there are still difficult games now, like Bloodborne and stuff like that. But like this seems pretty intense.
Right, and it's crazy because like Bloodborne, I feel like yes, it's a difficult game, yes, it pulls you in. But there's just something defeating about losing a game like this or in like Mega Man, any of the Mega Man. Because like if you try to do a jump and you have the jump, but the pixels are like, no, you don't.
Oh man.
Okay, you got away.
Yeah, this person that's playing is an absolute pro. Yeah, I could see myself getting addicted to this and spending hours like perfecting each level and making sure I don't know if I could finish this though. This looks tough.
And it's crazy too. I'm watching it. There's some times where you will hit the dig, and it won't dig faster than the person who's coming at you fills the area for the pixel. It doesn't count as you digging, so you just get killed.
Oh jeez. Oh, that'd be so frustrating.
It really was. This was again one of my favorite platformers. Kind of got me into games. Didn't continue me down computer games because I got systems after that. But yeah, Lode Runner is definitely my favorite platform.
That's awesome, man. This game is super cool. I don't know if you know this, but according to Wikipedia, it is on the Xbox Live Arcade. So this might be something you could, show your son, remind him what video games used to be.
It's actually kind of funny. He was playing Fortnite on my account once, and he goes, "Why didn't you have these like auditory things turned on?" And I was like, "Why would I have them turned on?" He goes, "Because you can see like everything is." And I was like, "Yeah, but I can hear it." And I was like, "Oh, I forgot." And I grew up in an era where like, there weren't these additives for games at all. Just messing with them. I wasn't like roll, but it was still pretty funny to have him like tell me that and like try to like school me in gaming. And I was like, "What? Who are you?"
I've been gaming since before you were alive.
Literally.
Yeah. I like to remind my brothers of that every once in a while. Yeah, this is super cool. I could see why this is your favorite, and I'm glad you didn't go with a Mario type because yeah, it's kind of an easy answer. Obviously, Mario's a classic and will forever have influenced everything that came after it.
I think we've mentioned that on the podcast numerous times. We are not against Nintendo. You're everywhere.
Oh yeah. Yeah, as a reminder, we love video games regardless of what platform they're on. And Switch is like one of my favorite consoles ever. So yeah, this is a great game. I can see why this is a favorite. Is the main character wearing headphones? Is that what I'm seeing on their head?
He's wearing like a space helmet and it's got like markings on it. Because I'm looking at the box art, and it's actually very different than what he's actually wearing. So I'm not entirely sure, actually.
Oh yeah, the person looks far more handsome, and the bad guys are like alien robot things. It looks like.
Yeah, and that's why I was laughing because one of the versions I played definitely had like these. They looked like monks, but they were cloaked in red, and I was like Indiana Jones, and like they were not happy to see me.
Yeah, this definitely feels like an Indiana Jones, and this reminds me of the times when there were not fall damage.
Oh
like
man,
I'm seeing this character like make these massive leaps without any damage, and I love it.
Yeah, and this guy's playing it really. This person, I don't know if they're not playing it very smart by not digging in a way to get themselves stuck. You're just falling through the platforms.
Yeah, so if you fall through the hole you dig and it refills while you're in it, you die. Am I assuming right?
You get caught and you're dead. Yeah.
Okay.
And then it would glitch you and just pick you up, but that was not something you hoped to happen. It was just because it can also pick you back up when like people were about to jump down and get you anyway. So I don't know. This game was crazy difficult, and it gave me like it was definitely like you said earlier, horror filler for like as a child.
Yeah, it's interesting. So the sand, obviously, the fruit I don't really get. I don't understand.
Yeah, that one actually wasn't in the version I played, so I'm not entirely sure what that's about either, honestly.
Yeah, it looks like it was on the NES as well, so maybe they pulled it from that release.
He fell through the entire.
Yeah, he fell through the entire map. That's impressive. Is this a game that you did beat?
You know, I think so. Because I got to the point where I started creating my own custom maps.
Oh, you can make your own map.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very cool. Was that one that you could have like people over and have them try out your maps?
I think I just let my dad do it. I don't know if I had like people over and try it. I feel like I did. I don't know. I can't remember it because I think by the time I had people over is when I started using consoles more often and not the computer. So I think like that's when I started transitioning away from that.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, it's like the original Mario Maker then.
Yeah.
Building your own platforming levels. That's pretty cool.
Awesome. I call for that one.
It's yeah, this game's ahead of its time, man. I've never even heard of this, so I appreciate you bringing it up because it's one. Let me see how much it is on the Xbox Live Arcade. It might be something I buy.
And this is the tricky part too, where like he has to dig down to get to that goal, but if he digs too narrow, he'll get stuck and he can't get out.
So it's I see. So he couldn't because you can't jump. So he had to go from the top. The player had to go from the top. I should say.
Go from the top and like create enough space to like if you're digging 3 wide and you can get down to 1, you can dig 3 then 2 then 1, and that bottom one you dig has to be wide enough for you to fall to the next platform. Otherwise, you're stuck and you get captured or the brick will regrow and get you.
I like when you finish a level. It looks like you smack your own butt.
Probably doing that and eating whatever fruit you picked up. I don't know. Maybe the fruit's like a bonus point. I'm not really sure. That one wasn't in the game I played.
Huh. Well, it looks like there was the one on Xbox Live is like an updated version. So I'm gonna look that up really quick.
Yeah, let's do that. While we're doing the transition, what was your you want to tease your platformer?
Yeah. So mine is far more recent than yours. Yours is from 83. Man, that's awesome. Mine is a 2016 game.
Okay.
And came from a Swedish developer. Wow, this looks wildly different.
Oh, wow.
We're looking at the updated Lode Runner, which came out in 2009 on the Xbox Live Arcade. It's $9.99 if you want it. I love how loading is spelled LODE, like the name of the game. But it's more of like a 2.5D game.
Definitely has the look like you're still going to get messed up if you caught.
Yeah, this is interesting. I mean, they've kept a lot of the original. Oh.
Get on.
This is wild. Yeah, there's like new collectibles, and the levels are far more horizontal than vertical.
Some different areas as opposed to like going up and down.
Yeah, and it looks like you can get the gold from any side of the block, which is kind of interesting.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, this is pretty cool, man. This might be one to add to the collection for $10.
Like even how you saw right now, he couldn't just jump up and grab the rope and keep going. He had to go back up a level and get around.
Yeah, I'm glad they did not implement a jump mechanic. I don't know how well that would work in this type of game. So yeah, I mean, I haven't seen reviews on the Xbox Live Arcade. The reviews are like a 3.5, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, and that probably is like I would imagine 3.5 for people who don't understand like the gameplay legacy. Like I just didn't know they did a reboot version or that it had a different version that it had previously. But yeah, I might check this out.
Yeah, it seems like it's a worthwhile purchase. Yeah, so let me. Sorry, my computer is chugging along. So my game is called Unravel.
Okay.
So this is a game developed by Coldwood Interactive. Got published by EA. I'm not normally a huge EA fan, but I really love this game. And this kind of blew up at E3 when it was announced in 2015. I think mostly because the character, everyone found it very endearing. The character's name is Yarny, and this is a side-scrolling platformer with a anthropomorphic piece of yarn. And basically the game is just going through solving puzzles using your own yarn to swing around different platforms, to create little trampolines to jump up to higher locations, to pull objects, to slingshot yourself. There's a lot of interesting mechanics that this game brings in, but it's also just a stunning game. It's just really beautiful. And some of the difficulty that you can have playing the game is that you're limited in the amount of yarn that you can use to get through a level. Yeah, so that you may get close to finishing a challenge within the game, but if you can't reach the next spool of yarn that you need for yourself, you kind of wither away to nothing. Like you're just like,
oh my God.
Yeah, it's pretty intense. The story's super cute. He hangs around this kind of bright and shiny world. And kind of just interacts with, living creatures, which is cool. Like, there are birds that you can interact with and even humans. So that's pretty much it. It's super charming game. The music is absolutely fantastic. And I was just super impressed with the visual representation of the game. Was this one that you played?
I haven't played this one, but I did hear about it. I love you mentioned the visual presentation. I love the background and foreground. Like you have where your character is, but you also have in the foreground, like, it makes it seem like the whole scene extends closer to the camera, almost like you are seeing this actually happen in real time. And I think that's awesome to see it that way. And just the effects, even like the water effects. And I don't always judge games on water effects, but when I do have games that you would expect to be a big thing and they do an awesome job, water stands out a lot. And I am really impressed by this. And I'm not sure what's happening here, but
yeah, if you play, you kind of learn. You learn about the characters in the game through these little moments. Yeah, these little side-scrolling platformers. Not typically a big focus of these games are graphical fidelity, but I feel like this game has it in spades. It's stunning. It's on Xbox, PS4, and PC, and it looks great on Xbox. That was what I played it on, and it's just absolutely beautiful. And it's not a super long game. I think I beat it in about 5 hours. Okay. So not too far off from from the Gardens Between, which we'll be talking about next week. But the puzzles, I think, are more challenging than Gardens Between, which I enjoyed. I'm all for a good platforming challenge. So yeah, this was one I really enjoyed, and apparently there's a sequel that came out last year, and I have not played it, but they kind of do the thing that a lot of sequels do, which is add the ability to control a second player.
Gotcha.
Kind of like Portal 2. So there's a second Yarny, and it's a little blue looking thing, and that one's on Switch as well. So I think that'll be my this is kind of like the perfect like travel game. Just if you got 5 minutes and you got your Switch on you can get through one level and then kind of put it away. That's kind of perfect for that. So
I'm watching Yarny move around. My question is, if you decide to go back to a level, like say you want to try and solve it, you mentioned getting to the end and not having enough yarn to continue. If you wanted to go back and redo kind of what you did, try to create a scenario where you had enough yarn, does the yarn retract as you move back through the level, or does it kind of stay unraveled the entire time?
No, it does retract. So yeah, as if you decide you need to go back because you've expended too much of your yarn, you will have that option. And it kind of rolls back up into, and you'll see as kind of a level goes through, the character becomes thinner and thinner as you're using more and more of your own yarn. And then when you walk back, you start to become more full again. So it's just a great game. I think it got a lot of attention before the release, and I think there were good discussions about it after. But when I think about current day platformers, I think of this and games like Little Nightmares. I don't know if you've played that before.
I saw a Let's Play on it, so I'm aware of it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I really enjoyed that one as well. And apparently there's a sequel to that as well. So yeah, I think these are the types of games I really enjoy. A great story like A Last of Us. I appreciate those, but like at the end of the day, I wanna play instead of watch a movie. So these are the type of games I enjoy. Games where I feel like I'm interacting with the world. I'm being challenged, and I feel like this game does a really good job of implementing different game mechanics, like the slingshot mechanic and the like trampoline mechanic and stuff like that. It's super easy. Like if you care about achievements, the achievements for this game are quite easy.
I'm actually just really impressed in watching the gameplay. Like the mechanics you mentioned, there's a ton here. You have the grapple, you have like trampoline and the slingshot, the ability to drag and create like objects pulled towards you. Like this is really cool.
Yeah, I think this is a great game, and so we're looking at the early game right now. If you're watching the video version of the podcast, and as you go on further into the game, this is still World 1. The levels become incredibly complex and large. So while there's a lot of mechanics, you get to implement multiple mechanics within one section of the game, which I think is super cool, and requires a lot of recall to certain things that you've learned hours ago, like right. I can slingshot myself here, and then I can tie a knot to create a trampoline that'll launch me up into this higher part. So yeah, I think the game, and it feels really good. I never ran into issues with like where I feel like that was the game's fault. Like I pressed A and the character didn't jump. Like the game is quite responsive. So, which to me is important, incredibly important, especially in a platformer where there's some segments in this game where time is of the essence. Like there's like water levels rising and your character will drown if you don't get through this section quick enough. So the responsiveness is super important, and I never had that issue. I did not play it on the PS4, so I can't speak to that. So yeah, that was Unravel.
Dude, that was awesome.
Yeah, I highly recommend you play it. And you're always welcome to borrow my copy if you want. But I think it's time to move on to Sandbox games.
Sandbox, and I want to say that this game actually was going to be my second pick. It's Fallout New Vegas. It was actually going to lose out to Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
Oh man, yeah, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas was great. That was a game I got in a lot of trouble with my parents over.
I did too, actually. It was a fun game. I think the reason why Fallout won is because of the fact that I love the concept of RPGs, and this is an open world sandbox RPG. And that's why it beat San Andreas for me for this particular outing.
Yeah. I get that. I think this game also has a lot of charm that maybe a Grand Theft Auto doesn't, because Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, when it came out, it's very representative of relatively recent times, and this game is so far removed from reality, but it's also got this 50s aesthetic that all the Fallout games, the more modern Fallout games, seem to have.
Right.
So I can understand the appeal. This is actually one I never finished, and I always meant to. I think something must have come out that had pulled my interest away from New Vegas, but I love the devs there that made that, and I think they're doing great stuff now. So yeah.
I can definitely tell you what distracted me from this game while I was playing it. That was Gears. Gears made it.
Did those come out around the same time?
I'm not sure, but I know I discovered them around the same time.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I'm always either a little early or a little late with games, just in general. So New Vegas, I'm going to say one thing and one thing only, and those who have played the game will understand. Cowboy, Repeater, and La Maria. All you need to get through the game. Because those two guns, oh my gosh, that will make your life so much easier. Not in game, but early on, oh man, you are unstoppable.
So I'm going to need a refresher on the story, because I honestly don't remember.
To be honest with you, I don't remember the story that well either.
Oh, okay.
I remember starting out, and you are one of the vault dwellers. I forgot which vault you come from. I'm gonna give everyone a more formal. Let's make this more formal. Fallout New Vegas. Welcome to a time of civility. A Fallout. Let's get the story here real quick. I spent a lot of time messing around with this game and messing around with trying to exploit it and do things that I wasn't sure could be done, because I did the freedom. That's what it got. That's what got me with it. I didn't have to necessarily play the way my friends are playing. We all kind of ran into different things at different times. Deathclaw sucked, and
oh yeah, they still do.
Yeah, you just kind of figured it out, and there was no there was a right way to play the game, but there wasn't necessarily a wrong way to play the game. Everything that you wanted to do, you could do, and what happened, you pay the consequences for it. I think my favorite status with an area was probably to be what's it called? I wasn't hated, but I was a mischievous something. I think that's what my title was. But Fallout New Vegas takes out in the year 2281, when the region formerly of Las Vegas, and around 4 years after the events of Fallout 3. We are a courier. Our job is to curry things around the Mojave Express. We get ambushed by a mobster, voiced by Matthew Perry, which I didn't know, actually. He wants to deliver an item to New Vegas, known as the Platinum Chip to New Vegas. I'm butchering this. It's 10 plus years. It's great. Point is, we're a courier. We get into some shenanigans, and we decide to take on the world. I believe in this version, I didn't side with the cons. You know, the whole human trafficking thing kind of rubbed me the wrong way. So it's kind of like went with the New California Republic. You know, being from California and against human trafficking, I couldn't join the cons. So
that's fair. That's fair.
But I did get to the point where I got the equivalent of the Hammer of Dawn in this game.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. Which sucked, because if you used it and there were friendlies in the area, those of you who know this, you know, you can wipe out your friendlies and then all of a sudden they hate you. So I was trying to get some Mongols one time and accidentally got everyone in the area, including the NCR, and was instantly vilified. And back then I didn't really do a lot of quick saving, so I didn't think about what I was doing. I just had to get it. You know, in these games, Skyrim and, you know, Skyrim and Fallout alike, you really have to take advantage of your quick saves, because you want to know how badly you're going to mess something up by doing it before you do it. And that's a great thing to know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely enjoyed. I think I put a lot of perks into speech because it was easier to get out of things, and long rifles. So I was just ready to party.
Yeah, this was the first one that was developed by Obsidian, I think. Which funny enough, they are the same team that did Stick of Truth, which we've talked about on this podcast. They have done the Outer Worlds game, which we've talked about on this podcast. They recently released Grounded, which is a gameplay we'll be releasing in a couple weeks on the YouTube channel. And they're also working on Avowed, which is an Xbox exclusive that we've mentioned.
I'm actually very curious about that one, because the teaser didn't say much about what's that. I'm actually very curious about it.
Yeah, I really have no idea what that game is, but you know, the way it looks, I'm super excited, and Obsidian has never let me down. So
if I can be a tanky mage for it, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, thank God for Xbox buying up all these studios.
You know, and really, I think, we talked about it too, I think Ninja Theory is Ninja Theory, right? For the team.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's great for teams like that who really show how much they can do with very little and kick ass at it.
Yeah, they've the Ninja Theory team has impressed me incredibly, just given how gorgeous that game is for such a small team. And I understand it's mocap, but they still nail it, and I'm very excited to see what the second Senua game has in store.
Absolutely, because I think we talked about it before. That teaser also didn't say very much about what the heck's happening, especially if you played the first one. Yeah,
no, definitely. Yeah. These games are very cool, and I remember this one being not necessarily gameplay wise, but maybe personality from the rest of the Fallout games. It feels pretty unique.
I agree. I think this is like, I feel like it's definitely post-apocalyptic. There's definitely some wild stuff in here, but I feel like you have a choice between being like just a wild nomad or trying to create some sort of civility. And it still has those aspects of like the modern world where you have like the kings who are like, you know, we want to be modern and proper, but we're still a street gang. that kind of thing that still will always creep up in no matter what site you try to build. So, yeah, I enjoyed this game a lot. I could talk about it in length and also not at all because it's just a great thing to do. I think I got rid of Mr. House and took his robots. But yeah. I enjoy this series, and I wish I could have loved Outer Worlds more. I think I just don't have the time commitment to play that game right now. So
yeah, I'm certainly all for shorter games at this point, which is another reason I really enjoyed Unravel and just having a game that I can knock out in a weekend and be done with it. I'm all for those. These open world games, man, there's just too much to do.
I agree.
Okay. Well, with that, I'll move on to my Sandbox game of choice.
Curious.
And that is Sunset Overdrive.
Yes.
This was an Xbox exclusive that was developed by Insomniac Games, who are probably best now known for the Spyro games, Ratchet and Clank games, Resistance. They've also worked on the Spider-Man PS4 game and will be releasing the Spider-Man Miles Morales game. But this was a game developed by them. It was a launch title, I think, with the Xbox One. If not, it was pretty close to after the release. And so basically the premise of the game is it's set in the year 2027. And there's a company called Fizco. And they make this energy drink called Overcharge Delirium. They call it OCD. So they release it exclusively in the Sunset City, which is where the game takes place. And to ship it faster, they've kind of skipped a lot of regulations. And so when people drink this drink, they turn into these crazy zombies, which if you're watching the podcast on the video stream, you can see him in the background there. So you play as this character that works for Fizco, and you're trying to escape the city because Fizco has claimed that the outbreak is unrelated, but they need to contain the city. So you're trying to escape is basically the game. The gameplay is third person and is very reminiscent of the Jet Set Radio Future, Prince of Persia, Tony Hawk, I guess would be the best way to describe it. It's like a mix of all of those. This game is, in my opinion, the best Xbox exclusive that we got this generation. And unfortunately with Insomniac kind of working exclusively again with PlayStation, we're probably never going to get another Sunset Overdrive, and this game didn't sell that well actually. But if you have Game Pass, it is available for Game Pass with all the DLC, and I would love to play with you because there is multiplayer online. So is this a game that you played?
I didn't play this one. I think when this launched for the Xbox One, I still had a 360, so I didn't go back and play a lot of I didn't play Rise, Fall of Rome. I didn't play this one because I honestly forgot about it.
Yeah, well, it just did not get the buzz. I think it was so kind of cartoony and funny and off the walls and just didn't take itself seriously. Similar to like Conker's Bad Fur Day. Like it's just a very funny game, and I think maybe it rubbed some people the wrong way. I think it was a little wild. So I definitely don't fault anyone for not knowing this game existed because it just did not sell well at all. But it's in my opinion certainly the best thing that we ever got from the Xbox One. So the way it works is there's all these grindable surfaces. So that's kind of where you get the Jet Set Radio vibes, and it's got, you know, great music that kind of fits that vibe. But there's also, similar to the Tony Hawk series, combos that you can get by continuing your run by not ending up on the ground.
Really?
Yeah. So if you see on the right hand side, there's this little lightning bolt. And that'll fill up over time as you kill people, and as you keep your combo going, you'll actually do more damage.
Oh.
So yeah, it's actually very important to the game to keep your combo going. If you just like run around on the ground, you're not going to do hardly any damage to anybody. Like, this is like the worst thing to do. Luckily, that person already killed everyone. But yeah, so it's really important to be like grinding on the walls, wall running, you know, bouncing off the bounceable, like all the cars are bounceable surfaces. So you just drop down on the car and you bounce back up in the air, and you can swing on the telephone lines, and there's all these different guns that do different things. I thought this game was so much fun. I really enjoyed it.
I'm down to check it out. We honestly, for those who are listening, well, also getting into watching the YouTube channel, we have a lot of different games we've been playing just to try out, not only for our media club, but just in general. I know I finally convinced Calvin to buy Borderlands 3, so we've been playing that at some point. We are still working through Halo. We're adding this. This is going to be something Overdrive. We'll do a little series of this as well. In addition to the one-off games that we did, we started Grounded a little bit, which was crazy with those spiders, man. Holy crap.
I'm so glad they have arachnophobia accessibility slider.
Like, I thought that was a joke at first. Like, oh, why would I care about that? And then the spiders attack. Okay, this is actually very nerve-wracking.
Okay, so I think what we'll have to do, if we're going to do this, is this will be a Monday release. All of our gameplay videos go up on Monday. The podcast is up on Thursdays, if you didn't know. So maybe we have you play this, and I'll watch you through Discord, and every time you die, I'll take a shot, and we'll turn it into a little series.
Interesting.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It's super fun, and it's difficult enough at certain points because there's, you know, time and score trials. Like, you have to get enough of a score. I mean, it's basically Tony Hawk, which is great. And there's an awesome leveling up system for all the guns and stuff, and the character customizer is really cool. Yeah.
Gameplay was extremely smooth, and even going back and forth between like the melee and shooting and moving around, it looks awesome. So I'm actually like super down. And I know that I mentioned before how I hate zombies. These are more like monsters than zombies, so I don't think those would bother me.
Yeah, I think they're different enough in that they, I mean, they're like boiled mutants. Like, they're not like normal. Like, when we think of zombies, and I think a lot of people's issues with zombies are that, you know, they walk slow, and they're easy to kill. Like, you can get away from them easily. But these mutants in this game will like climb up the walls and come after you, and there are a variety of them. So there isn't just one type. And there's other enemies in the game. So if you're watching the video version of the podcast, there's these like robots, which are like city and Fizco security, and those take different things to kill them. Like, you can pretty much kill the mutants with any weapon that you've got, but there are certain abilities that you need to use to take out the robots. So it's cool. I think there's a lot here, and I really wish some studio, I mean, even if it's not Insomniac, although Insomniac's a great studio, and I think, you know, this is their game at the end of the day. I just wish we could get more games like this on the Xbox.
Maybe it'll be a kind of thing where it's like, hey, the guys who brought from the team that brought you Sunset Overdrive, that's currently locked in with PlayStation, we started a new thing. We're called We Can Sleep. With Sunset Overdrive too.
That's great. I love that.
I mean, it happens all the time. That's how what's the game we just talked about? Outer Worlds was. It's the same kind of concept. It was the team they split, I believe, and they wanted to make a Fallout that was their version of a Fallout game. So
yeah, it could happen. I hope it does, because this game was criminally underrated in my opinion. So
I remember when I first saw the trailer for it. I feel like that release cycle for games, something happened in the world, and it kind of got a lot of people distracted from gaming. I can't remember what it was, honestly.
Well, I don't think it was a launch title. It was pretty close, and I think people were disappointed with both the PlayStation launch title and the Xbox. So I think once the Master Chief Collection came out, which sold a lot of consoles, people were focused on that and less on this game. So I'm sure that played some part in it.
For PS4, it was like Killzone, I think, and then
yeah, that was the big release. I remember I had bought I bought the launch console for PS4 and ended up trading it in for an Xbox One so I could get the Master Chief Collection.
Yeah.
Which is still such a great deal, especially with Game Pass. But yeah, we'll have to do a gameplay series out of this. I think it'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I agree. It's very fluid. It looks like the shooting mechanics are on point. I love grinding is such a fun thing for Tony Hawk, so seeing that in other games and other iterations is just fun to watch. Oh no.
Yeah. They got low health. Yeah.
Something that smacked back.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll have to do a gameplay out of this. I think it'd be fun, but we should probably wrap it up.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So since I made Calvin do the intro, I shall resume my normal role and make Calvin do the outro as well.
Yes, I knew it. Well, Zach, this podcast is for nerds, as you know. We love video games, especially sandbox and platformer games. Is there a platformer that you hope to see come to the next console generation, Zach?
You know what?
You'll have to wait until next time on This Podcast is for Nerds.